Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Old World. Old World is a fantastic, innovative 4X game, and there is a new DLC coming out for the game on the 11th of January 2024. This can be checked out on Steam. This video isn't sponsored, but I do really like this game, and so I would encourage you to try it out and play it. It's an event-driven, narrative-driven 4X game, and this adds a huge variety of gameplay. It adds like 100 new Dynasty events, which are a pretty heavy part of the gameplay. There's also new character traits, a bunch of new historical characters that you can play as and encounter in the game, as well as a wide variety of new wonders. And generally speaking, whenever they release a new patch, they usually kind of change up the game as well. So super recommend. It's published by Hooded Horse, Mohawk Games. It's Soren Johnson, the guy who made Civ 4 or 5. I get those guys mixed up all the time. He made one of the Civ games. Maybe it was Civ 3. Who knows, right? He also made Spore, you know? He was on that team. So there you go. Great designer, fantastic guy, really nice dude. Would love to meet him someday in person and shake his hand, but super recommending Old World. So go check out the new DLC. Even just check out the game. I'm pretty sure it'll be on sale or something soon. Who knows? Anyway, promoting a friendly acquaintance's work because I really like it. We are going to be playing a single player game today, and there was a kind of DLC that I missed. I just never got around to playing it, and it was the release of the Pharaohs of the Nile. I think it was Kush was released. And Kush is a faction that really speaks to me. I've always wanted a faction that focused on shrine output, and so they actually brought this faction to the game, and I kind of feel bad that I missed it because damn do I like the idea of having really good shrine output. Also, you can now choose from a variety of leaders. You're not stuck with just one, right? You can pick whoever you want to play, and there's like, you know, for example, if I play Egypt, I can play as Hatshepsut, Mernith, Khufu, Menhotep, Akhenaten, and Ramses. A variety of different characters you can play. We're going to be playing as Kush, and rather than playing as the default leader, Amanirenas, we're going to be playing as Amanator because I really like this improvement finish to get +2. I like that she's diligent, and I like that she's a builder, so we'll be able to do some fun and interesting things there. You can play as a zealot, as a commander, and these all have like interesting abilities, right? So for example, when you spread your paganist religion, you get a militia unit, which is kind of like a civilian, good at defending, not very good at attacking. There's a whole variety, but I wanted to play this one because I like the idea of every time I finish an improvement, I get a bunch of orders, which can be, well, basically, these are action points. This is a very unique and different kind of game. Now, I have a whole bunch of settings that I've used here. I'm going to briefly go over them. I'm playing as Kush. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, but I have made some changes to how the hardest difficulty is going to work. The barbarians will be raging. There will be a lot of barbarians. I'm going to have 6 opponents. The AI will have normal aggression rather than competitive. I prefer the normal aggression. They will have very high advantage, so their units will use less resources. They will get a lot more resources, and they will generally pay less for stuff, so it makes them stronger. But they are only going to start with 2 cities and 2 technologies instead of 4 cities and 4 technologies. This is just the way I prefer to play. The maximum difficulty just seems like an extreme, unfair challenge, whereas this feels like a little bit more like I have a bit of time to get myself situated. Otherwise, I'm going to be playing on lengthy mortality and semester turn scale. Why am I doing that? It's not the default way to play, but I thought it would be fun to keep our leader around for a while. We're just going to play on a huge random map. Now, I kind of actually loaded up a test game, and I'm just going to go ahead and load it right now because I actually really thought it was a super interesting start. I was going to just play a few turns, but we're just going to jump in kind of blind. It's been a while since I've played Old World, so do forgive me if I'm not very good at it. We have a very cool start location. If I go ahead and enable the resource overlay, I'm trying to remember which one that is. I think it's if I shift click, you can see we've got camels over here. They're improved by a camp. We've also got goats over here. Those are improved with a pasture. We've got salt that's improved by mining. We've got olives that is improved by a grove. Now, as the Kush civilization, we can choose between hunters, artisans, traders, and landowners. And in my opinion, in this particular start location, we have what I would consider to be 2 strong starts, right? We could start as the hunters or we could start as the artisans. Starting as the hunters is definitely more militaristic, especially defensively, because not only we will get better military production, we will also get ranged units having plus 20% combat strength inside our territory. We'll also get 100% output to the camp here, and this camel would provide us with a nice boost of orders, which are your action points, which could get us a really good start. So I am feeling like the hunters might be a good opener here, especially because it will unlock the hunt project, which is a way for us to gain food and increase the growth of our city if we really want to. We'll also get a bunch of resources when we found this city. Now, the artisans are a good choice because they give mines and lumber mills a 20% output boost, and there is salt over here, and this salt would give us a decent amount of culture and a decent amount of cash. We would also start with an extra worker, allowing us to build up our economy really quickly. But I think I like the idea of starting hunters, I always liked opening with ranged units. When you start the game, you can actually found your city on one of 5 tiles. I think the starting tile or this tile are both quite good. So I think I'm going to move one tile to the right and then found a hunter capital. Boom. So there are some pretty unique things about the Kush, but it's not super important to get into depth on that. So I have a choice between ironworking, polis, and administration. How technology works in this game is all of your technology choices are shuffled into a deck, and then you get a random draw of 3 every turn. This is actually very important because if I choose one of these, it's going to be 1 to 2 technology choices before I get the ones I didn't pick. So you have to consider, what does this unlock me? For example, administration gives me the treasury, it gives me the granary as well as the worker, but it also will unlock rhetoric and lead down a particular pathway. And I won't be able to get either of these for quite a while. And maybe I want to be able to get pastures to be able to get a rancher, because one of my tiles is a ranch-based tile. So I think I will go for ironworking here purely because I want to get to animal husbandry as well as labor force, which can be a really good early technology. So I'm going to go ahead and choose ironworking as my tech. You can see down here, you have your available. Those are the technologies you have drawn, and then you have your draw pile. So I could draw 3 of these 4 next tech choice. If you are a scholar, you can actually redraw. So it allows you to have a little bit more control over which techs you get. And if you increase your technology rate, you get to dig through the deck faster, right? Because you're researching quicker. So I'm going to go open with ironworking. And now we have a few more interesting choices. So we have an explorer as well as a slinger and a builder. I think an obvious thing to get started here would be to get food going, but we can auto buy food. That is something we can do. And getting this salt online would not only give us culture, but also money. And money is a very useful thing because money can be converted through purchasing into other resources. So I reckon I'm going to go ahead and pop over here to the salt and grab myself a mine. It will cost me 20 wood as well as 1 order for 3 turns. The 20 wood is an upfront price. The orders are a per turn price. The other really cool thing about this building is it gets boosted from adjacent mines as well as adjacent mills, and there's other things that can boost it. But basically, we're going to build this here and we'll get a nice boost to our cash flow. So we'll start with the mine. Units can move multiple times per turn. So you could see here, if I move my scout 2 tiles, it will use up one of my 6 orders. And then if I move another 2 tiles, it'll use another order. Scouts can also harvest resources. They can step onto these. So for example, horses will harvest 50 gold. Incense will harvest 10 culture. There's also an empty city state here, and your capital city will start with a settler about 40% completed, and that's definitely something that we want to do. This game has a lot of stuff that we need to explain, and I'll very quickly explain production. There are 3 production lines: growth, training, and projects. Since I am building a settler, training and civics, which are used to build these other things, are getting put into my global pool, which can be used to use countrywide or essentially what I would describe as like magic powers. If I were building a military unit, instead of the training going into my pool up here, it would be used to create a slinger, and then the growth would be used to grow citizens. Similarly, if I was working on a project, the training and growth would go towards the training pool and the citizens growth, while no civics from this city would be going into my civics pool. So actually choosing what you build is quite important, depending on what you emphasize and how you build your empire and what you're going to do. It could be a difficult thing to balance it all. I'm going to go ahead and step over here. We discovered a mountain. Because we were the first to discover them, we get to name them, and we're going to call them the Pointy Mountains. Boom, the Pointy Mountains. That simple. I'm standing on a tile that I can harvest with my scout. I will go ahead and harvest those horses, which gets me 50 gold, which I can then do to buy things. I'm pretty sure if you don't have enough food, it says right here, food is usually farms. In case of a food deficit, money will be spent to buy the missing resources. Money is a very interchangeable, fungible good, so it's good to get a decent amount of it. I'm also going to go ahead and step onto the incense, because you can see on the city, there's actually 2 bars here. You have 1 for culture and 1 for growth. And if I go ahead and harvest this incense, that'll boost the culture in here. And while upgrading your culture comes with some downsides, it's generally a good thing. Generally. Don't be afraid to upgrade your culture. Now we have a whole bunch of orders that are free. I'm going to move my slinger onto the city state. Well, really, I should move my scout first, actually. And this game has one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a 4X game right here. It's the undo and redo button. Oh, I moved my slinger over there. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I just undo the move, and now I can change the choice that I made. Oh my God, you have no idea how happy it makes me that a game has an undo button. The further away a resource is from your capital city, the less resources you will get from harvesting. Harvesting is good, but not the sort of silver bullet to an economy. So something we can do with the city of Moreau is actually, because it is our capital city, it comes with a garrison building. Garrisons give you orders. They do cost stone to maintain. However, they do enable the city's governor. And the governor that I can assign here could be my queen, Queen of Manitor. And she will have a variety of effects on the city as the leader. So she's 24 years of age. She would get 4 experience per semester. She would give the city +2 growth, meaning it would build settlers and grow citizens faster. Because she has 3 discipline, which is one of the 4 attributes in the game, she will get the city 20% more gold, which will scale nicely with the salt here. And because she's a builder, buildings will be built faster. Technically, I should have put her there on the first turn. It's a small misplay. It's not a big deal. But now we're getting that nice boost to growth because the king and queen is governor, which is very nice. And then we just go ahead and end our turn, having used up all of our orders. Yes, you have orders. There is a limited number of things that you can do every turn. Looks like we had a daughter, Princess Amaniras. Excellent. It's always good to have a big family because you do, in fact, have a dynasty. And it is an important part of the game to have a dynasty. Your husband matters too. You can see up here, this is my family. I have a spouse and I have an heir. My spouse will give me certain bonuses. So for example, because my husband has charisma, courage, and discipline, I'm getting a bonus to my resources. So leveling up my spouse and keeping him alive, and especially keeping my spouse happy. The happier your spouse is, I'm pretty sure the more resources they give you, and the less happy they are, the more likely they are to potentially try to kill you or do something else like that. Then we have Princess Amaniras, who has no stats yet, but she will slowly age up and level up her skills. Ooh, we found some gold. Let's go ahead and step onto that gold and go ahead and harvest a little bit of cash. I can't help but feel that I've explored in a suboptimal direction. However, I am committed to continuing to explore in this direction. Well, I found a mountain range. All right, great. The Numidians are a what do you call them? Most games would call them barbarians, but I think in this game they're called independent peoples, which is, I feel like, a little bit more kind to them and gives them a real identity. So these are effectively what you would find in other games, what you would call barbarians. We can choose how we deal with them. We can spend 100 training to gain a free militia, which is honestly not a bad move. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we have a variety of ways that we can treat with these people. Depending on the type of leader we have, we could even marry them and bring them into our empire, settle their cities. We can also go to war with them and they will generate raids to come fight us. They will slowly over time become stronger up to a maximum point. We can spread our religion to them. There's a lot of really interesting ways you can interact with them, even though they're not a mainline player. This is something equivalent to like a minor character, whereas I'm playing like one of the main characters. They should be like 6 main characters and then 3 to 4 minor characters, which is here. You can see the tribe Numidian, and I can have a relationship with this King Misipsa. I could marry him if I was single, right? There's a lot of like interesting interactions you can do. If I click on the tribe here, you can see we can form a tribal alliance, we can tribal peace, we could declare war, we could try to influence him. Influencing costs gold and orders, but it would get me experience. There would be a 50% chance that he becomes influenced by me, getting him a 40 opinion increase, or there's a 25% chance that influencing him exposes my weakness, lowering my legitimacy. And legitimacy is an important thing because high legitimacy gives you long-term stability. I'm tempted to try to influence him just for the example. Also, 20 experience seems pretty damn nice. That's 10% of a level for me right now. It does cost me 200 gold, but I am making 123 per turn. So let's try and influence him, because we could also get an influence event, which might shape our character in a new way. So that'll take 3 semesters, I believe, to complete, or 3 turns. Let's have a look. Do I have the ability to make camps? It would be nice to build a quarry, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get my builder in position to build a quarry, because having lots of stone as Kush seems like it could be useful so that we could build these nice shrines, in particular the shrines of Melul. I don't know how we build certain things. Yeah, I don't think urban improvements can't be built on sand, but you can build other stuff. But this is actually a really good spot for a quarry because it's adjacent to 2 volcano tiles, which means I believe it should get an 80% production boost. And yeah, you can see that there, up to 9. So we'll go ahead and build that quarry. That'll get us a nice passive income of stone. And now we have a militia in our city from that event, and I believe happiness and discontent can be related to whether or not you have a garrison, and also the garrison just makes people feel a little bit safer. I think you might have to actually build walls to get the reduction from having a garrison, but this is effectively a city garrison unit. It's not very strong, right? 3.1 combat strength, base 3. The family that the unit belongs to, the Yam family, the Hunters, who are the same family as my leader. You can see here there's a way to show that. No, I can marry into this family and I can also influence this guy, right? I could do lots of cool interactions with this guy. I could say, hey, like, convert to my religion, influence, intercession. You know, we could do all sorts of cool interactions with characters. And that's an important part of the game. Very nice. So it looks like we have found some ancient ruins, which we can explore and potentially get a game-changing event, an event that will shape the early game. So we have the choice of finding some hidden jewels. Excellent. We get 200 cash. Perfect. We also found the Assyrians, and how we contact the Assyrians Assyrians and what his disposition is will dictate how much he likes us. So like, if Assyria is friendly and we approach him humbly, he'll be like, oh, cool. But if he's aggressive and we approach him humbly, ooh, he will see us as weak and conquerable. However, if he is an aggressive person, now he looks like he's a diplomat, so I think we'll just go with the friendly option here. He seems friendly. We'll say, hey, what's up? How's it going? So it looks like his city is through this mountain range here. Let's get a scout on that. Okay, so we know where his cities are, so we want to try to explore away from that to see if we can find a place to build our own empire. Excellent. We got ourselves our first quarry, which is bringing in a nice little bit of income in terms of stone. Let's go ahead and build the camp. This will cost us some wood, but it will get us +1 order per semester, and that will mean we'll be able to move more units and do more action. We also just finished our first settler, which I'm going to go ahead and send to the city-state location. You'll get one city location as you're starting, and then you'll get one that's empty nearby for free. Then you got to find them or conquer them. And I think the thing to do here would be to make a new scout. 2 scouts is a lot of actions, but it does let you cover ground in multiple directions. So it can be useful. Plus, I want to explore to the east here because I see like a little urban tile. So there might be like a barb camp over here that I could clear. Excellent. So we successfully influenced King Missippa. He is now influenced by me, which should increase my relations with the Numidians. I'm going to go ahead and try to improve my relationship with King Ashurbanipal. I'm going to influence him. So similarly, we've got a 50% chance of succeeding, a 25% chance of succeeding weekly, and a 25% chance of an event. Will cost me 200 gold. I think this is a worthwhile adventure to try to improve our relationships with our neighbors. Being diplomatic is good. We should also focus on building. I'll probably get myself a second builder soon to develop the capital quickly. Okay, so Assyria has already taken a city-state over here. Ooh, and it looks like he's about to snipe my city-state. So I'm going to go ahead and step in there, and I've taken the city-state for myself now, so he can't yoink it, which is ideal. I don't actually have the orders to settle this turn, but that's not a big deal. A single turn delay on settling a city, it's fine. We have a couple of choices that we can go for. We can choose to settle another city of the hunters. This will improve their opinion of them, but it will lead to a downside. And the downside is it is seen as dishonorable to not found the seat of a family when you have the opportunity to. And you can only ever have 3 of these. And I think because there is a water area over here, I think it might be worth it to found a trader family on the coast if we can find a nice place with nets. So I'm thinking this is either going to be a place for the landowners or the artisans. And it depends. Am I going to be focusing on mines and lumber mills in this city? What about the landowners? Like, is this going to be my bread basket? Is this going to be where I feed my people? There is a nice river here, but there's like sand breaking it up, and it's hard to know. I think I might gamble on the artisans because this looks like a much more industrious area than like a farming area. And plus I'll get a free worker out of this, and they get +4 culture per turn. So a nice cultural boost here. I think it would be good to have a militia guarding the city, and it'll also slow down the growth of the city early. This will make us look a little bit stronger to the enemy while costing us very little in terms of actual resources to produce a military. So I think building a militia here is reasonable. Provides the city with a garrison, just a very small garrison. And honestly, having a lot of units is actually super useful. I do think we should build another quarry. Stone is an important urban resource, right? It's one of those resources you're going to need a lot of. You need a lot of stone. We built a camp on the camels. I'm probably going to go for yet another quarry if I can, although it does mean I will need to buy. And I can auto buy iron if I hold down Alt. You can see there at the bottom of the tooltip, hold Alt to buy stone. It will cost me money, but I have so much. I have like 600. And honestly, getting quarries up early, in particular around mountains, this can really be valuable, especially because stone tends to be one of those things that you kind of use a lot of when you start going hard on the urban stuff. Oh man, if I had the orders, I could snatch this city. Okay, so we've encountered Babylon, and it looks like they have a political prisoner. Let's see, we can fight them for the prisoner, but I'm not marshal. Because I'm regal or thoughtful, I have the option to convince him to release him into our custody, but he will hold a favor from me. And I think that's actually a reasonable move because I'll get Nabopolassar the Righteous, and he will actually provide my empire with some nice bonuses. So I'm going to go ahead and petition him. And now I have Nabopolassar the Righteous as my courtier, and he's going to provide me with a nice boost of civics as well as a nice boost of training. And he's also somebody who can actually tutor my daughter. And tutoring is expensive, but it does lead to improved outcomes for your children's growth. So very, very nice. If you consider that that child could potentially rule my empire for what, like 30, 40 years, which could be like 60 turns, that +1 science, half a science per turn, or that 8 gold per turn, that's starting to look really useful. We have weary riders arriving from Assyria. They wish me warm greetings and would like to establish friendly relations. I could send gifts as a display of goodwill, or I could welcome them to Kush. I'm going to play it friendly here. I'm going to welcome the Assyrians to Kush and see what they do. This will lead to future events, and it could be that they really want to dominate us. Egypt has started construction of the Hanging Gardens, which is a wonder that gives +2 victory points and gives all of their cities a 20% growth bonus. Very nice. So it looks like now that I have 2 families, right, and I have to keep these families happy, they have a little bit of a conflict. I can enact freedom to gain the freedom ambition, or I can gain the control 5 specialists ambition. Freedom is mutually exclusive with slavery. So if I go ahead and look at the laws here, you can see I could enact freedom, which is 4 gold per specialist, or I could do slavery, which gives me more output on my mines and quarries. Now, the thing about specialists is that you can train specialists on basically any tile, and they kind of act like a 50% production boost on this tile. So you can see this tile right here, the salt mine, is producing 2 culture and 20 gold. If I were to produce a specialist, it would cost me 40 civics, which is this resource over here. I would get 1 extra culture and 10 gold per semester, as well as an extra 1 training per semester, and I would actually get another copy of the luxury salt, which might be really, really nice. I'd also get +1 science per turn, which could be really nice. So I am kind of tempted to go for the miner specialist here because it would be a nice upgrade. And similarly, I can build a stone cutter, right? He'll increase the output of this 9 stone by 4.5. I'll also get an order. He'll spread the borders. I'll also get +1 science per semester, which seems pretty good. I'm tempted to build it over here so I can spread my borders into this mountain region. Getting specialists and building a balanced economy is really, really important in this game. Balanced doesn't necessarily mean you have a little bit of everything. It just means that like you have one that can sustain itself. It looks like we've discovered a landmark. We can choose, after finding this landmark, to become a pathfinder, a herbalist, and a highlander. I'm going to go for the herbalist action because it'll increase the efficiency of my troops healing, which will make it easier to conquer any potential barbs that we find. And I will go for the ambition to enact freedom because it's a fairly easy ambition for me to do. Looks like we successfully influenced King Asher. He's been influenced by us. I remember every time we do that influence, we gain experience. So we can get peace with the Numidians, but it would cost us tribute to them. Or I can just gain the experience. I'm going to gain the experience. I'm actually quite happy to fight the Numidians. I feel like I'm in a good position for fighting. It might not seem like it, but I feel it. Now we can look at the wonders that are available here. Some of them won't have pictures because this is pre-launch DLC. But if we get enough stone income, we could theoretically build some of these. I'm not going to worry about them until I can actually build them. I think it would be really nice for me to be able to get a shrine up now. I need to think about a farming area too. Where the hell am I going to put these shrines? And I think I want the Shrine of Amani here in Moreau. We're already getting a nice boost to our growth from the king. This is the seat of the hunter, so we have a boost to our training. So I think getting a little bit of extra civics in here could be really nice. So I think I'm going to build the Shrine of Amani adjacent to the capital. This will take a few turns and it'll spread religion to this city. And we can talk a little bit about religion as we get there. Yeah, the area here near the salt mine will probably be a farming area. I'll probably put a granary there and then a few farms around it to try and keep the city's growth nice and going. I do really like emphasizing stone early. I know it sounds crazy, but it really does pay off long term. So I'm going to go ahead and build more quarries. We managed to finish the scout here in the city. I think opening up with another stone cutter over here on the left, this will round out my city's production quite nicely in conjunction with the Shrine of Amani. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself a stone cutter. It'll also boost my science. Massive. I am not making that much science. Okay, my second scout finished and I do want to move him over here to the east because I want to know more. We found the Tigris River. I'm going to go ahead and rename that to the Windy River or the Windy River, depending on how you decide to read it. We are definitely going to try to conquer this, which means it would be nice if I could get myself a slinger, and I'm going to prioritize the slinger as the thing that I want to build in the city. A second slinger would help out a lot, and I'm going to want to start moving this slinger over there. First of all, I'm probably want to promote the slinger, maybe add a general to it. You know, we have a few different things we can do to make the slinger be able to fight better. So we have a choice here. We can leave our husband to marry into a Babylonian family. However, this would upset our current husband. The alternative is that we can increase the happiness of our current husband, thus boosting the amount of stuff that he provides us and making him a more useful character. We can also influence him to make him happier. I think keeping our family happy seems like it could be a really good use of our time and energy. Also, like divorcing him is not a vibe. So I think I'm going to influence him. We are pretty experienced. We're up to 100 experience per turn, 100 experience in total. Let's try to keep our husband nice and happy. Give him the old influence. Right, let's move our slinger over to here. We're going to add a general, and I think it would be good if my husband could maybe take over. Let's see who is good. This hero, Talamakani, he gives +1 move per order, plus 5% attack strength, but more importantly, he allows him to heal in neutral territory. I think King Consort would be better if I were to put him in charge of the second slinger, whereas this slinger is going to be the frontline fighter. So I'm going to go ahead and add Talakamani to this unit, and he will serve as its commander. He will gain experience when it fights. He will die if the unit is killed, or he has a chance to die. He can get into duels with other generals. Lots of really cool stuff can happen when you have an actual character leading an army, or leading a unit in this case. Let's go ahead and explore the ancient ruins. We can kill them and take their supplies, or we can invite them to settle with us, and we would gain a free free trapper in Moreau. Here's the thing. We could become ruthless, gain a bunch of resources and become ruthless, which would improve the opinion of King Ashurbanipal of us because he is also ruthless. Or I could gain a trapper in Moreau. Let's have a look at Moreau. The trapper we would gain would give us +1 order per semester and with +1 science per semester. Honestly, I think gaining the immediate resources is super good, and ruthless actually doesn't seem like it's that bad for me. It will lead to a serious reduction in my money per turn though, but a serious increase in my training per turn. I think it's worth it. It's a good midterm play, as in like it pays off pretty well in the medium term. We have founded Kushite paganism, which is a type of religion. Paganism generally doesn't spread on its own. You have to spread it by building shrines. However, you can upgrade this religion. We get 2 culture per semester for here. And I believe also if I keep the head of the religion happy, it doesn't have a head of religion just yet, I don't think. But if we can keep the religion happy by building improvements of this religion, cities that follow it will generally be happier, as well as characters. This happiness bonus here will get applied to characters who follow the religion, essentially. We can also train acolytes who will give us culture, science, Kushite paganism, and these units can actually be upgraded. These ones. There's rural specialists who can't be upgraded, and then there's urban specialists who can. And he can go all the way up to being a master acolyte for 4 culture, 4 science, a full order per turn, and 3 Kushite paganism opinion, which is super sick. And if I adopt freedom, he'll also give me a little bit of cash. So the potential for investing civics here to get orders is there. I think the move is to build quarries on these sand tiles because we can't put anything else there. Now we do need to be careful because if we overbuild improvements, you can see here maintenance, every improvement within the city's borders. So you do need to be careful about how many improvements you build and how quickly you build them and whether or not you staff them and whether it's actually efficient. So it looks like Assyria is looking for a peace deal. And this would honestly be good because right now we have a truce, which means we can technically, I believe, see here, truce. I forget what truce is. Oh yeah, you can't attack each other without declaring war, but I think peace means that they can't declare war on each other. They're less likely to declare war and they can enter and heal inside each other's territory. So I think giving him the food here is fine. I'm going to move my slinger up into a assault position. Well, maybe I should level him up first. I'll move him towards an assault and I'll give him focus, which is a 10% chance to crit for double damage. That might not seem like a big deal, but a well-timed crit is extremely welcome. Scouts that are in forests are invisible to all units. So we definitely want to try to conquer this barb camp as well. It's unfortunate that I've already started to move towards this one, but if I could get this barb camp and this barb camp inside my empire, I would be in really good shape early game. Looks like one of my subjects changed over to the Kushite paganism religion. Now we have some interesting choices here. We could go for a stone boost. Oh man, we've actually got some really tough choices here. So the thing about going for a stone boost is it could potentially enable us to build a wonder. Wonders cost a lot of stone. There are 2 wonders left that I could get, and of them, the Yakzilla is the most likely for me to want to take. The Yazilakaya. This would give my state religion cities 20% extra orders, and that would actually be pretty dang nice. And it can be built basically anywhere. So I would like it if I could build it, but I need either a lot more stone or a lot more money. If I were to take the stone boost, I could get it done in 6 turns, even though I really want to build aristocracy so I can get Kushite pyramids because they give legitimacy and this is a cool, unique building here. I think I'm going to take the stone boost and see if I can get a wonder, because getting a nice early wonder, something that in particular boosts my orders, would be sick. I'm going to go ahead and grab a stone cutter here to get my science up and my civics up. This city, it might be tough for me to get growth in, so I might go for the growth one. Alternatively, I could start getting iron income over here on these arid hills. Let's move up and slap this dude, and we did crit him, meaning we're going to 2-shot him instead of 3-shot him. I could bring my militia over to assist, and I think I will. It will leave the city ungarrisoned, but I think the militia will assist quite a bit in holding this. This militia is too far. I'm just going to put him on sleep. We have exerted our influence on King Consort, and Patriarch Tatamani is now the head of Kushite paganism. So that's actually important because his opinion will affect the opinion of the whole religion. See, whose family do I want to make happy right now? I think the Yam family is like a little bit okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take an Urt Jet warrior to improve their opinion of me. I will get this kill. That'll get me 20 experience on this guy. You get more experience for a kill. You'll step up. And your main job is to tank for me while my actual archer does the damage. So I regret putting you on that tile. I'm going to put you here instead because then you can only be attacked by 2 of these units. You will take a nice chunk of damage, but you should be fine when this guy comes forward to do the work. And we'll have another slinger soon. Let's go ahead and start building some mines. This is the mining city after all. This is where the artisans are. Oh yeah, it's totally worth it to attack. There's a nice 6 HP. Units have 20 HP, which is effectively like 10 HP, but you can do half damage. I feel like I made the right choice saving this for the traders cities city, so I don't want my militia to die. His main job is to do a little bit of damage and to tank for me. My general, who's leading the slinger, is now a drunk, which is going to make my slinger a little bit weaker. At the very least, other carnal characters will like him more. Awesome. So we just got the developing culture event in Moreau. Every time one of your cities advances a culture level, you'll get a special event. This is a developing culture event. We can listen closely to our advisors and we'll get +1 discipline, recovering the discipline we lost, or we can get +1 wisdom, gaining something we never had. +1 global science and a nice boost to the city's science is quite good. I think the gold is going to serve me a lot better in the early game while I'm building my economy. Now, if we can kill this guy this turn, I think it's safe to keep the militia out here. And then we'll swap him back once we move this slinger forward. Let's start building farms on this river delta here. The city needs the growth. Okay, my militia took damage, but he did survive. And then my slinger took some damage. Oh, apparently some guy from Babylon converted to my religion, which is useful. Oh, no, that was my guy. He's uneasy with my heartless and ruthless methods. Well, go ahead and take some money. And that'll ease your weary heart. Let's go ahead and add my husband as a leader of this unit. King Consort will get a 20% combat boost if he's adjacent to another slinger. I will attack with my other slinger and retreat this one away. And he should not be able to get to him unless he somehow decides to go up on this hill, which he might do. We'll see. Maybe my militia will get away. Maybe it won't. Okay, he chose to attack me. So Hanging Gardens have been completed. The Jer1 Aqueduct is under construction. And looks like we got ourselves the El Nunian Mysteries. This is based on a real world event. We can get +1 Cult Shrine and get the Cult of the Mother in Moreau. However, Queen Aminator would become a Mysteries Initiate, gaining her +1 wisdom. Or we can banish the Kushite paganism out. I think we're going to embrace it. Give me the Cult of the Mother. Hell yeah. So here's the Cult of the Mother. It costs me a little bit of money, gets me some culture, boosts my shrines. Hell yeah. Awesome. And now I'm a mysterious initiate of potential cult. The +1 science per turn is really welcome. That's a 12% boost to my science. Just put that in perspective again. Awesome thing is we can step forward. I'm going to attack with you first because if you crit, no, you did not crit, but I want the experience on my husband because he's the most loyal person. So stat boosts on him are useful. I'm also going to move this militia into the city and heal it because high health units will make me look stronger to my potential opponents. Which shrine gets a boost from wonders? Yeah. It's the Shrine of Amani, so I want to build a wonder adjacent to it, so I'm thinking maybe on this tile or this tile. Honestly, is fine. And if I cut the scrub and clear the land, I will have more wood that I could potentially sell to get more money to do that next turn. Or I could put it here and use up this kind of crappy sand tile instead of building a quarry. I mean, it would be a good quarry, but it would also be a pretty okay Yazlikaya. Sorry, I need to stop speed reading it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. So, Children of the Nile, we have contacted Egypt. We can take their offerings. We could give them a pair of mercenary slingers. Declare war. Let's not declare war. Okay, the Pharaoh here does not like me. Why is that? Because we're different heroes. So sending him military units doesn't seem like a good thing. I would rather try to improve his opinion. I'm also going to go ahead and try to influence him. Surab, we finished building a stonecutter. We could do a festival to try to grow population faster and get a miner to upgrade the training in here. Or we could build ourselves another slinger to defend my empire slightly better. Having a robust military built fairly early into the game is useful. I don't want to spend stone and I want the city to grow. So I'm going to just quickly do the festival to try and grow the city slightly faster. Okay, I'm going to do something that's a little weird here. I'm going to actually buy an extra order so I can attack with both of these slingers and get that kill. Because I overspent my orders in other areas and I don't want to have to undo my turn to fix that. I do think getting pastors online would be super helpful for me in terms of growth for my empire. I do have some pretty available places for pastors, so we're going to unlock pastors. Hoping for a crit here. No crit. This guy's pretty vulnerable. He can do a little bit of damage, but you should survive in theory. Yeah, you should survive. And we can get started on building the Yazilakaya. That'll be really, really nice. Cost me a good chunk of cash and a lot of stone, but I think that's worth it. So boom. The other option was the ziggurat. Hold on. It would lower the improvement cost by 20% in all cities and just give me 20 civics per semester. I think I actually prefer the Yazilakaya because it scales and I can actually use those civics in my cities. But I think these are two pretty interchangeable. This one has a better early game. I think this one has a way better late game. So I'm going to take that. I can't really afford to build a military unit right now, just based on the fact that I don't have resources to actually build them. So it might be good for me to build something else like a trapper or a miner. The miner would add a decent amount of cash as well as access to the salt luxury, which I can potentially gift to the city to make it happier. So I do think the miner is a good choice here. Oh, but you know what else I need? I need to recruit a new settler. So let me prioritize the settler Because if I can get that settler in 6 turns, that'll be useful. And then I should probably get a farmer. We'll see. But we need a settler to get over here to the city. So the good news is my units can heal. This unit in particular can heal outside of my borders. So I'm going to heal him up, attack here, and that will get another 20 experience on King Consort. We found the Meteorus River, +1 legitimacy. Higher your legitimacy, the more orders you get, and the happier your families are. Okay, we got an influence mission event. We tried to influence the Pharaoh of Egypt. We can get the Pharaoh to owe us a favor. We would become strict, which means new infantry units, which includes all of these units, would start with 100 experience, which is basically a free promotion. Or we can get +2 discipline, which is 88 gold per turn. That is insane. That is so much cash. That's so much economic flexibility for the entire life of Queen Amanator. That is like such a huge win here. Stats are super good, especially early on in your life. I definitely can afford more builders, so I'll probably grab another worker soon. Oh, this is concerning. This Babylonian horde coming my way. My princess is now old enough to be tutored. So I would like to start tutoring her immediately. And I like the idea of her being a student of commerce. So that's what I'm going to focus her on. Just focus on the strengths of my family, which is cash based. Looks like my queen, my leader, has leveled up. I can become vigilant for city defense, eloquent for civics, or inspiring for culture. I really like eloquent. That extra civics per turn is super powerful. Not only because I'll get a lot more civics up here, which will let me pass more laws, but also because if I decide to do things like building specialists, like 21 civics in here is insane. I'm definitely feeling a little bit vulnerable to these warriors right now. Step forward, attack. We need to get this kill. You can upgrade your workers to militia in a pinch, and so that is something I can consider. It's not something I want to do though. I am going to put a farm down for this city because I am a little bit light on food still. This farm would effectively get us a lot of money. Found an Egyptian city site. If I decided to go to war with them, I could probably grab it off them pretty quick. But I think 4 cities is a good start. And then I can choose how I want to expand or how I want to try to, build my economy and orient myself towards violence. Looks like we have some rebels in Surab. And looks like Zoroastrianism has been founded. Okay, so we have an option here. We can invite Zoroastrianism into our cities, or we can be chill and be like, we're a little bit wary, or we can go hard and tell him his religion is stupid and gain another point of discipline, which would be insane amount of gold per turn. I'm gonna tell him his religion is stupid. Your religion is stupid. Looks like we got a trade deal from Babylon. If these trades were reversed, I would love to do them, but I can't afford either of these trades, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say we prefer not to trade. So my daughter has boldly stated her desire to rule. She can become fierce, a delver, or pious. Ooh, I like the idea of her becoming pious. Yeah, you're going to be pious one day, my child. You will rule through religion. So we have another event demanding that we start an ambition. And I like the idea of, since we're already locked into going down the path of freedom, Constitution would give our urban specialists +1 science. It will cost us a little bit of training to maintain, but this could be a really good combo with freedom. So I think we're going to enact Constitution, or rather, that is the ambition that we have. We'll kill this barb camp, totally clearing it, and now we just need the settler to finish nice and quick. I could hurry him at the cost of a decent amount of orders, civics, and get him over there a little quicker. I do want a slinger to defend the city, so we're going to go ahead and attack with the militia. And you know what? I'm going to recruit a warrior here to defend the city. Melee units defend cities pretty effectively. They have combat bonuses in urban, so we'll get a warrior. I'm glad I have this militia to defend the city. It's always good to have a militia. I'm hoping you guys are seeing why I made some of these decisions. Now my hope is to kind of hover over here to see if Egypt ever steps off of this, because if they do, I could snatch it from them. Babylon is building the ziggurat, as is to be expected. I can promote this unit. It actually gained enough experience to level up without using any training. It currently has the Sentinel promotion. I like the idea of it being a warden, so it has urban combat ability. That's very defensive minded. Let's see, looks like one of my generals has a small chance of dying. Unlucky. Let's move them forward. They're in an attacking position. I could promote them, but I think I'm just going to attack from this tile. This is my territory. I'm getting a decent number of bonuses. I get a small penalty to distance, but we should do pretty good damage here. Now, the unfortunate thing about the city being attacked is it being attacked will raise discontent here, and if discontent gets too high, it can be dangerous. And it'll also lower the city's ability to actually produce. Annoying that this rebel happened. It's a small thing, but it does hurt. Looks like my daughter is thriving. I can tell her to focus on her wisdom, or she could become affable, which would give us a lot of growth in our empire. I think +1 wisdom is very valuable long term. And rather than influence the king of Babylon, I'm going to go ahead and just gain the 40 XP because leveling up is super powerful. The other thing that I want to do is actually educate my daughter. So I would like to tutor her via this guy, and he's a decent chance of giving her some bonus stats, which will serve us well in the long term. Our settler is out and on the way to capture this city site. We will found a seat of the traders. I'm going to take Bloodthirsty on this slinger, so it has plus 10 combat strength if it's damaged. I mean, I guess combat 1 applies in all situations. It is only 5% though. I'll take it. It's a slight improvement. It's hard to get good promotions on your units, and it looks like Egypt did settle this city here. My general is now severely ill, which is bad. So the Numidians have declared war on us, which is unfortunate. I think raising the military is the move. We also got the developing culture event in Surab. It spreads Zoroastrianism. We can gain militia. This would be really useful. Or I can gain another discipline. I think the militia, owing to the fact that there's a little bit of a battle coming on, I think the militia are going to be really useful. So we can pay some training to gain money from attacking. Numidians would be upset with us. We could endear the leader of Egypt to us by informing them about a caravan raid. Now here's the thing. I don't need cash that much. This is like 3 turns of cash flow, which isn't that much, but it's many turns of training. I think telling Egypt about this is the play, because that shores up one of my borders here with this player not having to worry about their designs upon my empire. Let's go ahead and settle the city of Kush. I'm going to be settling the family Wawat traders. We'll get a court merchant as well as access to caravans, and nets in this city will get 100% output. So we'll found the Wawat. I'm now known as the settler because I've managed to settle a decent number of cities. You get experience for that. It's like cognomen experience. And Melitason, the merchant, has joined. And merchant indeed, because holy crap, they are selling a lot of science to us. Well, I say that, but a lot of money too. So great addition. Courtiers are a great way to increase your early game economy. Looks like we have a shopkeeper here. It's a fair. That'll give us a little bit of cash. I believe the fair is maybe like a unique building, but it could let us get an elder shopkeeper who would crank out gold and culture. Cool potential. First things first, the city needs a worker. And then it needs a militia. And we need this guy to get over to engage in warfare. Big fan of the militia I have here. Let's buy some orders so we can get this cleaned up. I'll buy 2 more as well. We've got that slinger cleaned up. We are going to be getting an attack coming in from the Numidians. We may just want to just go clean this up after we deal with this barb camp. I would love to steal this if I could. Okay, cool. We got a cognomen event. Control 5 range units is an ambition. Maintain 4 governors or follow my own path. I think controlling 5 range units is actually entirely doable for us here. I definitely need to get my science up. And I think it would be a good idea to improve my relationship with Assyria and give him a bit of wood. So he gets a... he likes us more now. We built the Yazilikiah. That'll get us a nice boost once we have a state religion. It'll take us a while to get a state religion, but that's okay. My princess is a commerce student. She can become romantic, extravagant, or inspiring. Or she can become... Honestly, the only bad one here seems to be extravagant. And I could live with less gold. So we'll see what comes out of this event. 10% chance for a crit here. 1 attack, and then you're just good damage. So we'll slowly start chipping away at this. I have a 3rd slinger in 2 turns. That'll help us out a little. Looks like the graphics have not yet been done for the Yazilikiah. I assure you, except for this one that I've seen, have graphics. This one just does not, because it is new. That is quite funny to me. I'm finally starting to get some food income going. I tend not to focus on food early game. Stone seems a lot more important to me to get a good stone income, because you can build wonders with that. But round about now, I'm just going to work on getting a little bit of food in so we can actually feed our empire and we're not using up our gold. I would like to start thinking about my next wonder. If I look through here, the developing culture wonders, there's 2 developing culture wonders left. The Ishtar Gate, I think I would prefer to get the Apadana if I could. So saving up stone for that would be nice. Awesome. Nabopolassar has tutored Princess Amaranus, giving her +1 wisdom, which will serve her well when she rules. She has become eloquent, so she will increase our civics, which is quite nice. It has some other effects too. But we definitely want to tutor her again. She's going to be an important leader. Do I want to bring the militia in to fight this? No, I think the militia is here to defend the city. The slingers are meant to handle this. Let's go ahead and start building some nets. Nets are really great. Lots of culture, lots of gold. Ushara is going to be an incredible station for gold. Incredible. We got another rebel. Unlucky. I do think we need to go for a labor force here. This will lead to the ability to pass freedom. The game is recommending administration, but I think we want to go for labor force because we need to start finishing some of our ambitions. We could also get peace with Babylon in exchange for a little bit of iron. I think we seal that friendship. We're not ready to go to war, so we don't want to pick fights. I'm going to move this slinger forward and I'm going to add a general. Ooh, I can't. Okay, no generals available. That's no big deal. We'll just fight. So taking a look at Moreau, got a few citizens knocking around in here. I think getting some farmers would help with growth in here, and it would also get me that little trickle of science. I mean, this miner right here is just an obviously good choice, however, especially because it would give me access to salt. I'm going to build a miner, get the salt. We might be able to improve the relationship with the Earthjet family. Okay, we have a warrior on base in Surab. I'm going to take focus for the crit. The thing about civilian, these guys, they can't actually level up. which is unfortunate. I'm also going to grab another slinger in here. God, I hate that I have to fight so much. I think I need to build a mine. I need to improve the training, and mines give you training. And I'm officially running out of orders. I can't afford to continue to give directions to my units. I'm going to have to wait until next turn. That's the thing about Old World, is your action. You have an action economy, which I think is really what sets this game apart, is you have to think about what the hell you're actually going to do. So let's see. We can get 60 experience for my princess, or she could become intelligent. That seems pretty good. She could become a poetess, which seems pretty good, or she'd become impious. Now, if she became impious, this would be bad because she's already pious. 2 out of these are good. So I'm going to take a gamble on it. It would suck if she became impious, but we may have an opportunity to change that in future. Let's see if we can't clean this guy up. Looks like we did. We still got quite a lot of stuff we need to clear out of here. We are now positive on food. Let's try to keep that train going. Boom, attack, 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 and then you heal. I'm expecting Numidians to come out of the fog of war any day now. Oh, beautiful. She became a poet, which is just straight up +2 charisma for her, which is going to make her an incredible, incredible heir. She already has better stats than her dad. She could become a pathfinder, a cultivator, or a naturalist. I think the fact that I have really good nets in that 3rd city, I think she should become a pathfinder, because if I put her as a governor of that city, it would be insanely powerful. Let's push the hero unit forward. We'll attack. We'll push the 2nd slinger forward, and we'll attack, and then we'll clean with you. 20 experience on my king consort. He needs 20 more, and he will level up. We got the miner in Moreau, getting his extra culture, science, all that jazz. We could do a hunt here, which would get us a nice boost of food, and also get us extra +1 growth per semester, allowing us to grow more citizens to work more specialists. I think it could also be worth it for us to get an extra worker. So I think what I want to do is do the hunt and then get the worker in that order. This way we grow the civic, and then we can look into maybe upgrading another one of these guys. I'm kind of tempted to get the acolyte. He's worth a lot. He's worth a lot. All right, we got 3 farms here in Surab, which should give this city a lot of potential long term. I think I'm tempted to get these farmer specialists, not for the food, but for the growth. Farmer specialists give you growth, which would allow me to grow this city quite quickly. It'd be a significant growth boost, as well as a significant science boost in here if I were to build those farmer specialists. And the science is useful. Let's get some farmers. I'm going to go for the Shrine of Epidemic, which will basically act like a barracks, allowing me to level up my infantry units. It'll also spread the religion to this city and improve my relationship with Kushite paganism. And this is definitely the one that I want to improve relationship with. I'm also going to influence that leader. Looks like we managed to get the first fishing boat in here up. And looks like this fair is actually scaling off our gold income, which is going to be insane when we get these dyes done. So that's fantastic. These nets are worth so much cash, so much culture. Ushara is going to do so much work for us. The tutoring mission has led to an event. Judaism has been founded and the ziggurat has been built by Babylon. So our heir could get +1 charisma, +1 courage, or +1 wisdom. They currently have, oh man, the charisma would be so sick because the more of a stat you have, the better it is. So focusing in on a stat is actually a sick as hell move. Let's move this warrior over because I'm worried about these guys sniping the barb camp from me. I think I can get it. We refuse to bow to religious demands, which will get me some extra legitimacy. General died in the field, unlucky. He was super ill. Oh man. I can get, oh, she would become a corrupt though. No, I don't want her to become corrupt. I'd rather her lose charisma and become more disciplined. I'm actually okay with that change. Oh, we could get a mercenary chariot. Hell yes. I'm tempted to hold down control and force march the chariot in. I don't know if that would really help though. We can steal this next turn. We sealed the deal. We almost have the stone we need to build the Apadana. In fact, sorry, hold on. Undo that move. We can totally build the Apadana right now. Pop over there. We could in theory build the Ishtar Gate as well. But the Apadana would give us a huge, huge reduction in maintenance and a huge boost to our surplus civics. It would also give us 2 victory points, getting us closer to a win, right? We currently have 7 victory points. Every time you upgrade the culture of a city, you get a victory point. It's actually an important mechanic, the victory. Surprisingly, victory points are how you win. So this is a mercenary unit, which means I can take a general from anywhere, but I'm not going to. Ooh, I like the idea of him becoming a tracker. Most units have a vision range, which is how far they can see, and a reveal range, which is how far they look into the fog of war. Most units have a reveal range of 1. I believe scouts have a reveal range of 4. So honestly, getting tracker on this guy is kind of fun. It allows me to have a fighting scout. And I decided I'm just going to move this unit back because I don't think I need him to take over. Well, there's the pointy mountains that we found. Okay, influence of Queen Amatori, the settler, led to an event. We were trying to improve the relationship with the patriarch here. We can get him to owe a favor to us. We would gain wisdom. Oh man, or we could gain even more discipline. Oh my god. I do think getting a little bit more wisdom would help. I mean, this is so much gold. It's 136 gold per turn, which would allow me to continue to do more of these influence missions, which is kind of fun. Why don't we go ahead and spend that gold to go ahead and influence him right away. Let's get the chariot in here. Attack, and kill. Boom. We stole this city site underneath the nose of our opponent. Let's prioritize getting a settler in there. We're also going to need military to defend this location. Assyria has a lot of stuff. He does quite like me. I could send him salt. I could also send salt to the city of Meroe, or I could send it to Ushara, which would get a nice boost of culture in this city. And this is going to be a really strong city for culture anyway. So let's do it. Boom. Now that's 15 culture. We went up from 9. It's worth 6 culture. Really, really nice. I think we super need to get the Fisher Specialist here because the Earthjet family really wants dyes. And by getting the Fisher Specialist, I mean, like, we just get, like, what? 4 it's ridiculous what we get. We have an insane gold line right now. Okay, we're going to put this warrior on the Shrine of Epidemic, which will get him 10 experience per turn. So it's like he's fighting a battle every turn, which is really, really powerful. I'm also going to go ahead and get started on another mine here. This will get me a nice boost to my mine production, bringing me up to a more reasonable 20 to 30 iron per turn. But those are all the things I have. Pharaoh has an ancestral claim. I could give them the city of Sirab. Hell no. We already have a ton of militia in here. What would volunteers get me? Let's have a look at what that law is. So we can hurry production with population. That's pretty cool. I think I would prefer professional army, honestly. So I don't think we need to do that. What we can do is we can ease tensions. We won't raise tensions. It will make the city slightly unhappier, but it's fine. I can have a love affair with Kaliut the Builder, which would make him like me a lot and make his family like super happy with me. Or I can get another point of discipline and refuse his affection. I think I'm going to get the point of discipline. The fact that this leader would have 9 discipline now is absurd. 430 gold per turn is a ridiculous amount, but I'm very happy about it. We are hitting what I would like to call the order crunch. We don't quite have enough orders to do all the actions we want. Artisans want peace. So I could sign peace or decline. I think I will sign peace. This is a much better trade deal than giving him a city. So I can expel divination from the city and gain another discipline. Oh my god. This would get me some legitimacy. The legitimacy and the discipline is insane. I'm taking it. I don't even care if it makes the city a little bit upset. Now, an upset city is not ideal, right? Discontent level 5 means 25% of the science is damaged. It hurts the opinion with the family that owns the city, and it increases the maintenance of the city. So we are going to have to eventually figure out a way to deal with the unhappiness here, but we're not in a huge rush to do that. More nets. We're making so much money from these pearls. It's insane. I'm going to take the Highlander promotion on this. That makes these units already fight pretty good in hills, so having them fight even better in hills is just straight up good. And I'll go ahead and get you to heal. So now I've got a bunch of units and nowhere to move them, which means I need more workers to fill out my order need. So that's going to be how my economy transitions. However, spare orders are turned into money at the end of your turn. So it's not the end of the world to have spare orders. I am going to go ahead though and end my turn and call that the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys very much. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.